Some stories travel fast because they're shocking. Others travel fast because they feel good. This one did both, and if you stick with me through this, I promise you the ending hits different than you think it will. Let me set the scene for you. Sydney, Australia, a Tuesday morning. The kind of morning where the city's half awake, people are moving on autopilot, coffee orders are being yelled across counters, and nobody's expecting anything unusual to happen. And into this completely ordinary Tuesday walks one of the most famous people on the planet. No security suite beforehand, no black SUVs idling outside, no assistant calling ahead to let the staff know someone important was coming so they could prepare. None of that. Just a man walking in, finding a table, sitting down. The cafe was the Rusty Rabbit, tucked into Darlinghurst, which, if you've never been to Sydney, is one of those neighborhoods where brunch is basically a competitive sport. It's the kind of place with exposed brick and a handwritten specials board and oat milk options that cost more than they should. It's a real neighborhood cafe, not a tourist trap, not a celebrity hotspot, just a place where locals go to eat well and start their day. And on this particular Tuesday, one of those locals happened to be Bad Bunny. Now, before we go any further, I want to acknowledge something. If you're not deeply familiar with Bad Bunny, let me give you the 30-second version, because it matters for understanding why any of this is remarkable. Before we get into it, welcome to Celebrity Talk Show Room. If you're new here, hit subscribe and turn on notifications. We cover the stories that go deeper than the headlines. Now, let's get into it. Bad Bunny, real name Benito Antonio Martinez Ocasio, is not just famous, he is capital F famous. The kind of famous that fills stadiums on multiple continents without breaking a sweat. The kind of famous where his name alone on a festival lineup moves tickets. He's broken streaming records that people said couldn't be broken. He's performed at the Super Bowl halftime show, not as a guest, as a headliner, and made it look effortless. He is, by any measure, operating at the absolute top of global music culture right now. And he was sitting in a Sydney cafe ordering pancakes. So here's what happened, according to the cafe themselves and multiple accounts from people who were there. Bad Bunny came in alone, or close to it. No performance of being famous. He sat down, looked at the menu like a person who was hungry and wanted to decide what to eat, and ordered pancakes, steak and eggs, the kind of order that says, I'm not performing wellness right now, I'm just hungry. The kind of meal that belongs to a person, not a brand. He ate, quietly, calmly, like someone who'd gotten good at carving out small pockets of ordinary life inside an existence that is anything but ordinary. He finished his meal, and then, and this is the moment, he tipped his waitress a signed $100 bill and gave her a concert ticket. Just like that. No cameras pointing at him when he did it, no team members standing by to capture the reaction, no dramatic pause or speech or moment of performance. He didn't look around to see if anyone noticed. He just did it, and then, presumably, he left. I want to sit with that image for a second before we keep moving, because I think we rush past it too fast when we're consuming these stories online. Picture the waitress. She's working a Tuesday morning shift. She's probably been on her feet for a couple of hours already. She has other tables. She has a section to manage. She's doing her job, the invisible, essential, exhausting work of making sure strangers have a good experience while they eat. And at some point, she realizes who she's serving. Maybe she knew immediately. Maybe it took a moment. Maybe she stayed professional and composed the whole time because that's what the job requires. And then she comes back to clear the table, or he flags her down before he leaves, and he hands her a signed $100 bill and a concert ticket. Just think about what that moment actually feels like. Not the version that looks good in a recap, the actual moment, the thing happening in real time in your body when something completely unexpected happens and your brain is trying to process it faster than it can. That's the moment the internet fell in love with, because it's real, and real is rare. The cafe posted about it themselves. Instagram stories, a photo of the signed bill, Bad Bunny written across it in a way that made it look almost surreal, like evidence from a dream. Screenshots of text messages from staff members confirming that yes, he was really there. Yes, it really happened. Yes, the bill was real. What a surprise we had this morning. Understated. Perfect. Then they posted a video of the waitress. She explained what he ordered. She showed the table where he sat. She smiled the kind of smile that people smile when something genuinely unbelievable has just happened and they haven't fully landed back on Earth yet. And then the cafe added the line that made this story explode past the usual celebrity spotted category. Definitely helped having a Spanish-speaking superstar waitress. She even got a concert ticket for her incredible service this morning. That one sentence did so much work because suddenly the story wasn't just famous person tips well. It had texture. It had a reason. It was specific to this waitress, this interaction, this connection. Bad Bunny didn't just reach into his pocket and hand her something. He was present. He noticed. He connected with someone in a real way, and then he recognized that connection with something meaningful. And the internet, for once, didn't know how to be cynical about it. Let's talk about why that matters. We live in a media environment right now where celebrity kindness is almost always performative, not because celebrities are inherently bad people. That's not what I'm saying at all. But because the system around fame has evolved to turn every moment into content, every gesture into a brand statement, every donation that gets announced in a press release before the money actually arrives, every carefully orchestrated surprise visit that just happened to have a camera crew present. We've all seen it. The celebrity who happens to be filmed handing a homeless person money, the donation that gets announced in a press release before the money actually arrives, the carefully orchestrated surprise visit that just happened to have a camera crew present. We've been trained by years of watching this pattern to be suspicious, to squint at any moment of famous person goodness and ask, what's the angle here? Who benefits from this story existing? And here's what made this story so disorienting. There was no angle. Or at least there was no visible angle. Bad Bunny didn't post this. He didn't let his team post it. He didn't retweet it when it went viral. The story exists entirely because a cafe in Darlinghurst was so genuinely surprised and delighted that they posted about it themselves. And because a waitress's smile in a video was so clearly unscripted that people trusted it. That's almost unheard of in 2026. And it created this weird, slightly uncomfortable feeling online. The feeling of watching something genuine in a space that's usually artificial, like walking into a room expecting a movie set and finding an actual living room. People didn't know what to do with it, so they shared it over and over and over again. Now, here's where I want to go a little deeper, because the surface story is beautiful, but the layer underneath it is what I think is actually worth talking about. Bad Bunny grew up in Vega Baja, a small municipality on the north coast of Puerto Rico. Not wealthy, not connected, not the kind of background that has a natural pipeline to international superstardom. Before the music took off, before the streaming records and the sold-out tours and the cultural dominance, he had regular jobs. He worked at a supermarket. He bagged groceries. He's talked about it in interviews, not as a humble brag origin story, but as something that genuinely shaped how he sees the world and the people in it. He knows what it feels like to show up somewhere and do work that other people barely notice. He knows what it feels like to be the person behind the counter while someone else is the one who gets to have the experience. He knows the invisible labor of service work, the energy it takes, the patience it requires, the way it can wear you down, and also sometimes genuinely connect you to a human being. That's something you can't fake, and it's not something that goes away when your life changes, dramatically. If anything, it sharpens. So when Bad Bunny sat down at the Rusty Rabbit and a Spanish-speaking waitress brought him his pancakes and his steak and eggs, there was probably a recognition there that went beyond celebrity and fan. It was one person who understands service work recognizing another. And that recognition, expressed as a signed bill and a concert ticket, didn't feel like charity. It felt like respect. Let me talk about the ticket for a moment, because I think this part gets glossed over. A concert ticket from Bad Bunny is not just a free night out. I want to be really clear about that. We're talking about one of the most in-demand live performers in the world. His tours sell out in minutes. People set alarms. People refresh ticket pages for hours. People pay resale prices that are genuinely painful because they need to be in that room. For a lot of fans, a Bad Bunny concert isn't entertainment. It's a cultural event. It's a connection to identity, to community, to something bigger than a regular Tuesday.
and he handed one of those tickets to a woman whose job that morning was to refill his coffee and make sure his order came out right. Think about that for a second. He didn't hand her cash and leave. He didn't sign something and walk out. He gave her access to something that thousands of people were fighting to get their hands on. He said essentially, you belong in that room as much as anyone who bought a ticket. That's not just generosity. That's a statement about value, about who deserves access to beauty and art and extraordinary experiences, about whether the distance between the audience and the performance is as fixed and as earned as the industry would have you believe. It's a small gesture with a big idea inside it. And here's the layer that I think almost nobody talked about when this went viral. The story didn't spread because Bad Bunny made it spread. He had nothing to do with how this moved across the internet. He didn't seed it, he didn't amplify it, he didn't even acknowledge it publicly as far as anyone can tell. The story exists entirely because a cafe in Darlinghurst was so genuinely surprised and delighted that they posted about it themselves, and because a waitress's smile in a video was so clearly. If you found value in this video, please hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss what we cover next. We'll see you in the next one.